In this lesson, we're going to talk about rates and ratios, and we're going to learn about proportions for this unit. So, first, we're going to talk about the ratio. So, what is a ratio? Ratio is a comparison. You just compare two numbers. That's it. Comparison of two quantity, like two numbers. Quantities using division. So for example, you compare 3 and 4, so 3, 4. So you can also say 3 to 4, or you can also say 3 to 4. We have three different way to write a ratio. So if you want to compare 5 and 10, then you can say 5 to 10, 5 to 10, and 5 to 10. This is just three different, different ways to write ratio. So ratio, what is it? Ratio is a comparison of two quantities. Just you compare two numbers. That's it. All right. So a rate is a ratio of two quantities with different units. So for example, if you want to talk about the speed when you drive 60 miles for 2 hours, then you just compare miles to hours, right? If you want to say like how much money you're going to earn per hour, so for example, like let's say you earn $100 for 3 hours of working, 4 hours of working, so 4 hours of working. So this kind of expression is going to be the rate example of rates, right? So any two quantities with different unit, it's called rate. If you compare the same unit, it should be called ratio, right? Okay, so a rate with a denominator of 1. So now I want to talk about like how much you're going to earn per 1 hour, like per 1 hour. Because if you have like something per 1 hour or something per 1 meter or 1 foot, then it's really easy to compare the values, to compare the rates really quickly. So a rate with a denominator of 1, like per 1, is called a unit rate. I believe that some of you guys heard about this. So now 60 miles per for 2 hours, it is how many miles you go per 1 hour. You divide it by 2 and divide it by 2, and 30 miles per 1 hour, right? And $100 for 4 hours. Let's say you earn $100. What about per 1 hour? What's the unit rate? So you have to divide 100 into 4. So divided by 4. How many 4s are going to 10? 2. So 8 and 20 and 5, right? So it's going to be $25 per hour. So this is rate and this is unit rate. So both are talking about the same thing, but when you have unit rate, it's much easier to compare. So we are going to practice how to find this unit rate a lot in this lesson. So please copy it down. So example 1. Find the ratio of males to female. Now we have 45 males and 60 females in a subway car. So now let's find the ratio between males and females. Males, how many? 45. How many females? 60. So now males to female. You always have to label when you write a rate or ratio, because you should tell people that like, oh, I'm going to put male first and then female, the number of female at the bottom. So 45 over 60. The ratio female to female is 45 to 60, but I need you to simplify this because 45 and 60s are both multiples of 5, right? Or you can divide it by 15 right away if you know the greatest common factor. But I'm going to start from 5 because 5 is easy number. So 9 over 12. We still have common factor, which is 3, 3, 3 over 4. So the ratio of males to female is 3 to 4. If I ask you to put males to female, then you have to say 4 to 3, right? All right, so find the speed of the subway car. Now, speed. So it should be rate, right? We're talking about the rate. So speed, we're talking about miles per hour. So per hour or minute. Okay, here it's minute. So 2.5 miles. You just compare these two. That's it. And for 5 minutes. Okay. But we're not talking, when you're talking about speed, we're not saying, oh, I drive 2.5 miles for 5 minutes. You better heard like this, like 2.5 miles per minute, per second, right? So now let's try to change this to how many miles you go per 1 minute. How does that sound? 5 minutes to 1 minute. So now, how can you find the number of miles? So you have to divide 2.5 into 5, right? So 2.5 miles divided into 5 to find how many miles you go for 1 minute. So now there's nothing, no fives are going to 2. You put a decimal here. Now you can find how many fives are going to 25. It's 5. It's 25 and 0. So you go 0.5 mile in 1 minute. So you can say the speed is 0.5 mile per minute. So this is, again, this is a unit rate and this is just the rate. So be careful if I ask you to find a unit rate, you have to find the bottom denominator to 1. Copy down. All right, number 2, finding a rate from a ratio table. So now we're having a ratio table here. It shows the cost for different amount of artificial turf. Find the unit rate. So we're going to find the unit rate in dollars per square foot. Okay. So now we have amount. This is a 25 square foot, right? And the cost is 100. And 400 square feet, and we need $400, and we have another information here. So what we're going to do is you're going to use a ratio from the table to find the unit rate. Okay, so cost to amount. So cost to amount, because we want to know how much you're gonna pay, how much it will cost per square foot. So after per, this should be denominator. So dollars, how much do you need per feet, square foot? All right, so now cost is $100. You may choose any information. You may choose these information or here or here or here, but I'm gonna choose the smaller number and 25, and I just use the first ratio in the table. If you simplify this, it's going to be 4/1. What does that mean? You're going to pay $4 for 1 square foot. So if you paint, let's say, 500 square feet, then you're going to pay $2,000. So if you have a unit rate, you can calculate for a different number really quickly. Please copy it down. So now let's try to solve this question. The ratio table, I'm going to choose the first ratio here. So I want to find the speed in miles per, you see the per, and second. What's after per? It's second, right? So we're going to find miles per second. So now, how many miles here? 14.4 for how many seconds? 3 seconds. Once you find this ratio, like which one goes to the top and then which one goes to the bottom, you just plug in the numbers and then you're going to divide it. 14.4 divided by 3 for 12. I had to run out of time, so 4.8 over 1, that means you go 4.8 miles per 1 second. This is a unit rate. You should be able to change the bottom number to 1. Copy it down.